Hi, I'm Rich Fuller, founder of Pure Earth, and Happy Earth Day, or as we call it, Pure Earth Day. For those of you attending one of our events for the first time, let me give you a quick overview of who we are and what we do. I founded Pure Earth over 20 years ago to fight the growing industrial pollution crisis. I traveled to dozens of countries and saw hundreds of families and children living in communities inundated with all kinds of toxic chemical wastes, causing illnesses and death. It's just enormous. These problems were not being addressed by the major environmental groups or funders. They were hidden, largely invisible. You had to go looking for them. As an engineer and a father, I knew I had to act, and with a growing team of amazing people, we've identified simple, low-cost solutions that can stop this poisoning, especially for children and pregnant women in these communities. We have a talented group of environmental engineers, scientists, epidemiologists, and advocates in dozens of countries. We've invested in their training and built a global network of pollution fighters. We developed a rapid, low-cost protocol for assessing toxic hotspots and health threats. That's now 5,000 sites wide in 50 countries. It's unique, the largest database of its kind. Pure Earth teams have conducted over 120 environmental interventions and cleanups in 25 countries. We've protected and improved the lives of millions, especially children. One of the primary toxins that Pure Earth focuses on is mercury. Now you may not know, but the leading cause of mercury pollution globally is artisanal small-scale gold mining. Let's watch a brief clip to learn a bit more about it.
Artisanal small-scale gold mining is the leading cause of global mercury pollution. It provides much-needed income for approximately 15 million miners and their families worldwide. Many of these miners use mercury, which acts as a magnet to gold. The mercury and gold bind together to form an amalgam, which is then burned, vaporizing the mercury, which condenses, settling in soil and waterways where it transforms into methyl mercury. Once in fish, it bioaccumulates across the food chain until it becomes unsafe in seafood, such as tuna, that ends up in supermarkets and restaurants around the world. Destructive mining methods using mercury devastate natural habitats like the rainforest and poison the environment, community, and the global food chain. In Madre de Dios in southeastern Peru, the uncontrolled spread of artisanal gold mining resulted in a mercury emergency and has rapidly deforested wide swaths of the Amazon rainforest.
That's really disturbing, but there are solutions. And to take you on a journey, let me introduce you to our tour guide for today, Glo Janata, board member of Pure Earth and president and CEO of Togo Run, a strategic healthcare consultancy.
Thanks, Rich. And hello, everyone, and welcome to Pure Earth Day 2021. We have a full itinerary today, and I'm so excited to introduce you to Pure Earth staff and friends in Peru who are doing such necessary work to reverse the damage caused by mercury use in gold mining. So buckle your virtual seatbelts up and let's go. Welcome to Peru. This country hosts such extraordinary diversity of flora, fauna, and landscapes. With the combination of the Andes mountain range, the Amazon River basin, tropical rainforest, and coastal deserts, Peru has the greatest climate range and diversity of life zones found anywhere in the world. From the breathtaking Rainbow Mountains and the ancient Nazca Lines to the iconic Machu Picchu, Peru is a land of wonder and mystery. Did you know Peru is also home to the highest sand dune in the world, Cerro Blanco? I didn't know that. At over 2,000 meters, it's called the Everest of the desert. Peru also boasts one of the world's deepest canyons, Colca Canyon, almost twice the depth of the U.S. Grand Canyon. And of course, Peru has great mineral wealth and is the biggest producer of gold in Latin America. But with these riches, environmental devastation has followed. You may wonder, why does gold mining strip the rainforest bare and cause such destruction? In areas like Madre de Dios, grains of gold are present with grains of sand underneath the fertile rainforest floor. When Peruvian jeweler Andrea Jose Castro became aware of what was happening, she sought to forge a sustainable path for her beloved craft.
I have always been fascinated by jewelry. Traveling around Peru, I felt a strong connection between the land, the artisanal miners who extract the gold, and the artisans who showed me their craft. When I heard that Pure Earth was training miners in Madre de Dios with responsible mining practices and without the use of mercury, I had to take a look. So I decided to visit Paulita 2 concession, an area where it's only possible to access by boat. There, in the middle of the Amazon rainforest, I met Don Pedro Infantes. Don Pedro started mining 30 years ago, when he could not find a job. Mining for Don Pedro is not just looking for gold. Mining has been a way to survive and prosper.
Mi sistema de trabajo que es mejor que muchos de los que trabajan, porque yo ya no utilizo mercurio.
Exacto.
Y todo lo que han formalizado utilizan. Ahora sí.
The fruits of his work have allowed him to give his daughter better opportunities, better education. His daughter is studying to become a teacher. Aware of the damage that informal mining and mercury does, Don Pedro now uses a shaking table that Pure Earth introduced to him, which allows him to work without mercury. He was proud to show me how he can now separate the small gold particles from sand and rocks, using just gravity and water. In return, I showed him a method to make his small pieces of gold look shiny and attractive to buyers. Don Pedro's story, like mine, began in Arequipa, the region in Peru where we were both born. Now, Don Pedro and I are two paisanos or neighbors bonded by a passion for our heritage. Today, many of us have forgotten about the connection between gold and the land. Because gold travels through a complicated chain of buyers before reaching the market, we often do not know where our gold comes from. My visit with Don Pedro is an important reminder to all of us. Thanks to Pure Earth and miners like Don Pedro, there is a solution.
Thank you, Andrea, for your efforts in raising consumer awareness and working with artisanal miners who are committed to producing sustainable, mercury-free gold. Our next stop is the Tambopata National Reserve in Madre de Dios, where Pure Earth is supporting miners who requested our help to reforest and restore an area they just finished mining. Pure Earth Country Director Franz Cabanillos will guide us on the next leg of the trip.
After small-scale miners extract gold from a piece of land, they move on, usually leaving behind land that's been damaged and contaminated with mercury. Pure Earth is working in Madre de Dios to help miners ecologically restore land degraded by mining. From Lima, it's a 2-hour plane ride to Puerto Maldonado. And then it can take up to 3 hours to reach miners working in remote parts of the rainforest. You have to travel by car, motorbike, foot, and sometimes even by boat.
In 2 weeks, maybe in 1 week, it will disappear.
Oh wow.
Because the river.
During the rainy season, the paths become flooded and the mining areas can be completely inaccessible. That's why we always try to plant before the rainy season.
We're trying to find a way in?
Yes, we can. We have to go out, no? Go out a little and yes, yes. If you can imagine the transport, how you can transport the plant, it was very, very hard work, no?
It takes about 2 weeks with at least 15 people to transport the seedlings to the site and do the planting.
We do all this because this is our Amazon rainforest. The abundance of biodiversity is what we are trying to preserve. 1 in every 10 species in the world lives here. Take a moment to just look around and listen.
There are more trees here than stars in the Milky Way. Some of these trees are more than 1,000 years old. This is where scientists have found plants that treat many diseases. This is why many of the miners we work with want to fulfill their obligation to the rainforest. Among them is AMATAF, a formalized association of small-scale miners. We have been working with them for the past year.
AMATAF siempre ha buscado, ¿no?, hacer una minería limpia y responsable. El compromiso del minero es así, ¿no? Y no solo recuperar este pequeño área, ¿no?, sino recuperar, si es posible, toda el área que hemos intervenido, ¿no?
Reforestation is a delicate balance. We pair fast-growing plants so they complement slow-growing species. It's important that the trees do not compete with one another. We also use species that are native to the region, like the Chihuahuaco tree, which provides nesting for the RP eagle. The seedlings are planted with some biochar, a soil amendment made of Brazilian nut shells that can help absorb heavy metals like mercury. Finally, we measure the height and diameter of every seedling in order to monitor growth. Some of the seedlings we planted a few years ago have reached over 20 feet high.
Reforestation is working. We are seeing damaged rainforests spring back to life, and that's very important for all the small-scale miners here.
We want to give miners the tools to practice a more responsible form of gold mining that is consistent with the ecosystem that surrounds them. The Amazon rainforest.
Thank you so much, Franz, for that uplifting field report. We are very much looking forward to expanding this work. As you can see, there is much more to do, and I hope you are inspired to become part of the solution. This concludes our trip to the Amazon. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Next up is a live Q&A with the Pure Earth team and Franz and Andrea from Peru. Get your questions ready.